Hello, my wonderful subscribers, my precious subscribers. Madam Akuma so panty me from India girl. Memo be a cobashon copasa bay and Casa TV send your first timer. Kindly add your subscription and could be our HM Kaya. Any me no comment here or comment section where I share videos to a lot of people. So a brana MPP4 a war a buy mono. Now we shall for NDC for so maybe be a friend so sourcing. On Besson sign a document ye nim ho she and I'm so Emma NDC for because well this source no avenue for corruption just a most inside document we the Ghanaians we know nothing about we be anamudia GCKD asakra na just say ye pan ye to wasem mo pe amon kan che Ghana for so NDC for ho edwon ho pan kan ho nsem bibre recently any Ato Forson so Minister for Roads Minister Agboza for no one sema a media no so say dey tie and also yes so source nam so am NDC for say and I'm also my dear baby most so source in the avenue for corruption so time now Minister for Roads them and all sign documents and now so you knew nothing about no and what do we call it and I say no dey new so source a whole lot. Basisiano sembi aba beto ye naso enti na mabeti na ha mede bro yesi yetua nipa no mu bika 3.9 million Ghana cedis so mo find it ni na ye under so na ehun nsem ehun excuses ene eba aboti enti no ma chechire ne se bede bro aba beto aboboa kamemu ni enkoti mu nsem emrasitia
as well. Thank you, Chair. My name is ßehind, Member of Parliament for Tamale North and Deputy Minister, Roads and Highways.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Kwesi Akwaku, Chief Director, Minister of Roads and Highways.
I am Lawrence Lamti. I am the Deputy Chief Executive for Maintenance, Ghana Highway Authority.
I'm Engineer Kwesi Asamoah, Head of Planning, Department of Federal Roads.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. I'm Malam Isa Isahak, Acting Chief Executive, Ghana Highway Authority.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm James Godfrey, Director, Department of Urban Roads.
Emmanuel Mamara, Director of Finance, Ministry of Roads and Highways.
All right, Honorable Minister, your infraction starts from page 33. And Honorable Duke William Allen Kwame Amwakwata Oforiata will handle this.
Good afternoon, Minister, and welcome. Minister, please, the issue on page 33 deals with validation of arrears, payables, and commitments. The auditors noted in the schedule of outstanding payables and commitments and BTAs a sum of 3.067 billion, which had been paid out. I want to know, what is the payment process at the ministry? Because I believe that payments which have been done should be taken out of the payables, such that we should have a less figure showing.
Thank you, Chairman. So I'll let the person responsible, Director of Finance, take that particular one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Minister. In answering this question, I would have wished that the Ministry of Finance were here because we were asked to present a list of arrears in the ministry and in our books, which we submitted to the Ministry of Finance. Thereafter, we were told that they needed to be validated by external auditors. We gave them audience. It was then that we realized that the Ministry of Finance were paying contractors on our behalf without our knowledge. And that is basically the basis for these claims. So at the meetings with the auditors and the Ministry of Finance, we had made the point that we reject the nomenclature used as rejected to appear as if we had intentionally made payments and resubmitting them for repayment. Completely false. So that is why I started by saying that if the Minister of Finance were here, then they will attest to these things. They were doing things outside the gift mix, paying outside the gift mix, paying bonds without recourse to us, and that is the cause of this amount.
Sir, after the special audit, they called you, you went to Ministry of Finance for an exit interview. Isn't that the case?
No. During the audit, we met the auditors at the Ministry of Finance, and we made this particular point clear to them. The Minister of Finance, that meeting was chaired by Deputy Minister of Finance, Ampim Daku, and he was outraged. In fact, he was surprised that those things were happening at the Ministry of Finance. And he asked his directors, and they confirmed it there and then. The auditors were there.
And what was the response? Our auditors, it's you that have to. What was the response of Ministry of Finance about this issue that he's raising?
Honorable Chair, I don't recall exactly the response from the Ministry of Finance, but what we observed, and as was explained, that these payments were being made without recourse to the Ministry of Roads and Highways.
Please, Finance and Ministry, you made mention that you were having difficulties tracking these payments because some of the projects were paid from other sources. Can you speak to that?
I didn't say we're having difficulty tracking them, because you track something that you know. If it's done at our blind side, how do you track? It was during the audit that some contractors came to tell us that they were paid. And the auditors also called some of the contractors, and they said they were paid. So if you pay a contractor without recourse to me, I will not update my contract register, because I don't have any evidence to that effect.
Please, do you have the report before you? Page 33. It says, management iterated the challenges they face in tracking payments once the IPCs leave their remit. The risk of double payments is heightened as a good number of projects were currently funded by more than one source. Can you speak to that?
Mr. Chair, there shouldn't be a situation where any one project should have multiple sources of funding, except those that, let's say we have a loan and then there's a counterpart which will be GOG. That will be understandable. But we are talking about a situation where at the ministry we have only two sources. Maybe the project is attached to Road Fund or Government of Ghana. The difficulty is when, because of the level of arrears we have, sometimes contractors hear that Government of Ghana is paying. Meanwhile, the project source of fund is Road Fund. Then they find a way of getting that certificate to GOG to be paid. At that stage, it's not an intention to cheat or anything at that stage, just to get their monies paid because they've invested money and they've been sitting there for 4 years and not being paid. Unfortunately, because that process is not properly documented, that certificate probably lies still in the records of Road Fund. So one day when Road Fund gets money are paying, actually that certificate can be paid again. It got worse when you have a situation where at a point in time we took a bond from Fidelity, which is a third layer. So it is no longer even Road Fund or GOG, but a third party. So the third part, the contractors are encouraged to go to, let's say, Fidelity and get your certificate cleared through a bond. They carry out that certificate still probably lies with GOG. One day, if GOG is paying, because our record keeping is problematic, that certificate could end up being paid. We had a very interesting situation where, during the recent validation, a contractor was contacted and said, we owe you 500 and something million. He said, no, you don't owe me 500 and something million. They were insisting they owe you. He said, no, you owe me less than 300 million. Because according to him who received the money, he received part payment already. But in the records of that organization paying, it's still a full amount that is there. So we need to actually clean up this. I don't see if there's any body benefiting unduly, which is what it is. It is the lack of the structured system that gives opportunity for somebody to see that there's a loophole to go and capitalize on. If the payment system was quite clear that when your project is supposed to be funded by road fund, you have no way. It's just like working at Parliament and deciding that I want to take my salary at the Electricity Company of Ghana. We don't do that. So why is it that when we are doing government projects, people can move certificate from A to B like that? So from last year, you cannot move certificate from one entity to another. When your project is GOG, you are stuck there. Whenever GOG gets money, they pay you. If it's road fund, you have to stay there. When we get money, we pay you. But until then, we need to deal with what we are having now. So that is what I think the situation should be. We need to fix the whole system, which is right from Ministry of Finance to the entities.
Chairman, thank you. Small follow-up. Honourable Minister, when you contract and jobs are done and IPCs are submitted and you take steps to redeem them by way of payment, do the contractors acknowledge receipt of payment? Do you have any such process?
Very important question, actually. No. At least as a minister, I've never had any. In fact, what you rather hear is, they've not paid me. When they are paid, then no, good news is no news, I think. So it is when they are not paid and they are struggling that they keep telling you, I've raised a certificate for the past 2 years, I'm not paid. But as I keep explaining to Ministry of Finance, there should be a very simple system where when a certificate enters the system, it should be easy for the entity to know